Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you've never ever watched any of my videos before, my name is Nikki and I lost 3 stone in 3 months with Slimming World a long time ago, about 16 years ago, and I kept it off for all that time. I went from 12.5 stone and I was a size 16 in most places, and I went down to 9.5 stone and I was a size sort of 8 to 10. I have been lower than that. I've been 9'3", I'm 5'6", and yeah, 9'3" wasn't my happy weight though. That was more kind of like when I wasn't really in you know, the best place that I've ever been in. So I don't aspire to get back down to that. To be honest, now my target weight is not necessarily 9'7". I'm quite happy to sit in range, so I'd be quite happy at 9'10". I'm not really a slave to the scales anymore. I'm not that bothered by what I actually weigh. I'm more bothered about my shape and my dress size, feeling strong, feeling fit. I had twins 6 months ago, so I'm just trying to tone my stomach and get my body back to feeling fit and healthy. I'm not about being skinny, not at all. I'm about being fit and strong. That's more important to me. But the reason I'm making this video is I get asked all the time, how did I lose 3 stone in 3 months? And I've never ever made this video. I've worked for Slimming World for over 12 years. I've made a video on how I lost 3 stone in 3 months that's had over 250,000 views, and that was more about the psychology and how to get your head in the right place. So if you haven't watched that, please check that out first. But people still really want to know what I actually ate like, and my worry is that I don't want it to appear faddy, and I don't want people to try and like necessarily copy what I ate. But because I get asked all the time, I think it probably is a good idea to share it, but I'll try and explain the reasons why I did what I did, and how it worked and why it worked for me. So bear with me. So how did I eat before Slimming World? Before Slimming World, I had a horrendous diet. I was a student, so I drank a lot of pints. I used to go to our local pub and have a mint lamb burger, chips. I used to eat Cajun baguettes with spirally curly fries. I'd eat McDonald's, I'd eat Pizza Hut, Häagen-Dazs, I'd eat doner kebab for lunch. Like, it was horrendous. When I was trying to diet, I would like go hungry all day, or maybe just eat a sandwich and that was it. Or I did a cabbage pill diet, which was horrendous, where you just eat cabbage soup and you take cabbage pills. Oh, rank. I've done loads of diets and I lost weight, but I always put it back on again and I was miserable. Slimming World was the only thing that worked for me. Now, a lot of personal trainers and a lot of fitness people and things like that, they don't get Slimming World, they don't believe in it. To lose weight, it's really black and white. You just have to be in a calorie deficit. So that is it. There's no two ways about it. That is it. And the reason Slimming World works is it naturally helps you to be in a calorie deficit without having to count calories constantly. Not many people particularly enjoy counting calories all the time. I would say if you're a busy person, you're a mum, you maybe have even had an eating disorder in the past, I don't know. You know, if you like to cook from scratch, it's quite difficult to count calories. I have done it, I have tracked calories, and I've looked into macros and all of that, but I just find it a bit of a pain in the ass, if I'm honest. Really, naturally slim people kind of like intuitively eat, and if you can get to that point, then that's amazing. And that's kind of what Slimming World is trying to teach you. It's about filling up on healthy foods. And the reason why Slimming World works is we've got a UK leading nutritionist that makes sure that the whole plan is based around satiety. So all of the foods that are free foods, of course they've got calories in, of course they have, but they fill you up. So the idea is then you're not going off snacking on things that are high sin, i.e. high calorie. So it's all about balance and trying to rebalance how you might be eating. So it's really important to fill up on the high satiety food, which are quite low in calories anyway, and not stress about every single little vegetable and what calories in a fruit and all of that. Like, not many people want to live like that, and not many people can maintain their weight living like that. So I don't knock people. Like in the PT world, they knock a lot of other people. I don't, and I like a lot of these people. I follow them myself, and I think they've got so many amazing things to say, and they're very, very intelligent people, and they're very passionate about what they do. But I don't know if they've actually sat in a Slimming World group or if they've actually researched our plan. So by having your speed food on the plate, you're naturally reducing the amount of free food you're eating. By SINs being limited, you're normally within your calorie deficit. So it's so much support in group as well, you know, and you get midweek support and you have fun and you make new friends. Like, I'm going off on one now. I'll shut up and I'll go into what I eat. But that's why, you know, a bit about the science behind it. Like, that's why it works. That's why I lost 3 stone in 3 months. That's why I've had members lose 17 stone in a year. That's why, you know, we're the UK's leading slimming organisation. Of course, there's people that haven't lost weight, but it's, you know, sometimes down to commitment, or they're taking the free food thing a little bit too far. I don't know, you know, I don't know individual cases, but it works if you follow it 100%. So my first thing is I did it 100%. Simple. You know, I followed the plan. So back when I was a member, it was red days and green days. So I'll explain to you a little bit more about how that worked if you don't know what that is. So on a red day, or an original day, because that was the first ever plan, you could eat unlimited amounts of the fish, of the poultry, you know, all of those sort of foods. And then you had to weigh as a healthy extra either potatoes with the skin on, so they have more fibre, wholemeal pasta. There was no rice. The rice wasn't a healthy extra because it didn't have enough fibre in. What else? New potatoes you could have. So you were eating a lot of the fish, a lot of the protein, but a smaller amount of the carbohydrate. And then you'd still have all your vegetables with it. So green days was the opposite. So it was unlimited pasta, unlimited rice, unlimited potatoes, eating till you're full and satisfied. Okay, so not like taking it to the extreme. And then you would weigh out your chicken or you'd weigh out your fish. Now, when you think about it, guys, like, there's a lot of like no carb diet and stuff like that. The only reason people do like no carbs is, one, because they might feel slimmer, they might feel less bloated, but two, it's just to cut calories out. It's just another way of cutting calories. So by focusing on protein, which you do need for like muscle repair and if you want to get lean, if you focus on protein and reduce the amount of carbohydrate that you're eating, overall, normally you're taking in less calories. So that's why people do it. But you know, a gram of protein calorie wise is no superior to a gram of carbohydrate calorie wise. You know, fats are the highest, and then you've got alcohol. So yeah, protein and carbs, they're actually both cool. But if you want to reduce calories, sometimes people reduce one of them just as an easier way of reducing calories. So that was how I ate. So I did mainly red days. So I ate lots of protein, lots of fish. I would eat a lot of food like smoked haddock. So back in the day when it was red and green, there was speed and then there was super speed. So super speed foods were things that were very, very low in calorie. So things like melon, strawberries, raspberries. But some of the meats and the fish were also labelled speed and super speed. So, or just speed. So chicken, for example, was a speed food. Turkey, white meat, white fish, haddock, things like that, they were all speed because those are lower in calories. So things like beef mince, things like gammon, things like bacon, things like salmon, all of those foods that are higher calorie foods weren't speed, but they were still free. So I concentrated on all the speeds as much as possible. So the white meat, the white fish, and all of the, you know, the lovely veg, and then would weigh out a small jacket potato. It was a decent size, or I think it was 198 grams of new potatoes with the skin on as a healthy extra. So that was how I ate. But I did really enjoy the occasional green day. So I ate a lot of corn when I was a member. Corn is lower calorie, lower fat than beef, for example. So I made a lot of corn mince stuff, and it's high protein. So on green days, corn was free. So I'd eat like a corn chili with rice, and I wouldn't have to weigh the rice. So that was how I ate. I ate a lot of corn. I ate a lot of meals on red days that involved like a chili, but on top of veg. So quite similar now to SP, funnily enough. So I ate a lot of foods like that. When I ate out, I would always check the menu before I went, and I would tend to have things like chicken dansak from the Indian. Back then, a chow mein was lower in SINs, so I used to eat chow mein quite a bit from the Chinese. I would always pick something that was within my SINs. Another thing I did was I hardly drank for 3 months. So throughout the 3 months when I lost my 3 stone, I hardly drank at all. If I drank, I specifically remember this one time when I went out, I drank spirits, so I drank gin or I drank vodka, but I drank soda with fresh lime because lime cordial has got sins. So I'd go out with my mates, I'd have my smoked haddock, my new potatoes weighed and my veg. I would go sin free all day and keep my sins low through the week, and then I would have vodka, soda and fresh lime, and then if I went over on my sins I would take them out of my weekly sins. So we don't have weekly sins, we have daily sins. There's no such thing as like rolling them over or saving them or whatever, but for some people that works, so you know, it's whatever works for you. But I would then think, right, okay, so I had 40, say, for example, so therefore what I've got left is what I've got left, and I'll divide it through the week. Now, interestingly, with sins, I'm going to be really honest, I never really ever had 15 sins a day, never. I only went to my highest sins if I was going out. And the only reason I did that was because I didn't need them. You know, I was eating a lot of free food and I was eating a lot of the speed and super speed as it was back then. And I just didn't see the point of eating sins for the sake of it. If I did have sins, they tend to be on a bag of crisps, so a low sin bag of crisps, or like a curly whirly. I drank quite a lot of hot chocolate back then, so you know, like the options hot chocolate, I used to do that. And yeah, I was just so committed. You have to want it. Like, I had my graduation coming up, I was in an unhappy relationship, I felt crap about myself, and I thought enough's enough. I don't want to be like this. I want to get fit, healthy and slim as fast as possible in a healthy way. And that's what I did. You know, if I ate out and people were like, do you want naan with that? I'd be like, no thank you, my weight loss is more important to me. You know, do you want that pint? I'm all right now. That's the old me. The new me doesn't drink pints. I'll have a vodka, fresh lime and soda, please. So I changed my eating habits and I changed my lifestyle and I became a better person. I was happier, I was slimmer, I was fitter, I was healthier. It was the best thing I ever did. I stayed to group every single week without fail, and I lost every single week in 3 months, apart from once when I went abroad on holiday and I gained a pound. So I was just in it. I was in it. I was all or nothing. You know, I was either going to do it or I wasn't. That's it. It's that black and white. I'm just going to double check if I haven't forgotten anything else, because I really want to make sure that it's a comprehensive explanation, because I do get asked this a lot. Right, another thing, there's no on or off, okay? This frustrates me quite a lot. So, a lot of people say I'm on plan or I'm off plan. That's just giving yourself an excuse to eat what you want. Let's be real, let's be honest. There's no on or off, because it's not a diet, it is a lifestyle change. If you're on a diet and then you're off a diet, the psychology of that is, right, I'm being strict, I'm being good, now I'm off it, I'm going to be naughty, I'm going to be bad. I don't like that. That is not, it's not a good way to behave, it's not a good way to think, it's not a good way to act, it won't help your weight loss. If you choose, if you make an adult choice to be flexible, that's fine. Be flexible, have more sins if you want, but don't think I'm off, because I guarantee you'll have more sins than if you're just being flexible, okay? So no on or off. Portion control, I don't think I ate as much back then. I've got a huge appetite. I think I use food in a different way now, to be perfectly honest. I still have a slight issue with food at the moment, in that I know I eat too much, but you know, that's just something I'm working on. So I think I was better with portion control back then as well. Do you know back then, right? There used to be things like tins of chilli, stag chilli, and it used to be free. The vegetable one is free now, but the meat one was free back then. And it was portion controlled, wasn't it? So I'd have that over like a load of veg, or I'd have that on top of an omelette. And then I was eating a limited amount. So that worked for me. Lots of speed, eating out. Oh, another thing I did was I only bought what I wanted to eat. So I didn't have loads of high sin food in to tempt me. If it wasn't in the house, I couldn't eat it. Simple. And I think that's pretty much it. I was just very goal driven, you know. I have to have a goal. If I've got a goal, I'm so much better. Now, because I've had the twins, I'm happy. I don't really go out loads now, whereas before I'd be out every single Saturday without fail with a new dress. I haven't got that same motivation to be 9'3" or 9'7". I might get back down to 9'7", I don't know. If I do, it would just be through, you know, being relaxed about it, like intuitively eating. I do have days now where I go over on my sins. I'm normal. I'm normal. You know, I'm really into like protein bars and stuff like that, so sometimes I might eat too many of them, you know, but it's because they're there. I never used to have them in before, so I'm kind of like triggering myself, but it's cool. To be honest though, with the protein bars, I get full, so I don't really need to eat more. So I'm doing all right, and I am losing weight, and I'm pretty much not far off where I want to be. So it's all good, and that's just being relaxed, intuitively eating. If I want a bit of chocolate, I'll have it. You know, I'm not scared of eating sins, whereas before I was probably a bit more rigid on sins, but I was in weight loss mode then, full on weight loss mode. At the moment I'm kind of like in I'm all right mode. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some ideas. I don't want people to go out and start being really faddy, but do be mindful about trying to food optimize 100%, getting the speed food on the plate, doing as it says in the book, weigh and measure everything. If you do it properly, you will be in a calorie deficit, therefore you will lose weight. If you push the free food too far and you don't stop when you're full, if you're not weighing and measuring, if you're not tracking your sins properly, you're not going to be in a calorie deficit, therefore you're not going to lose weight. It's really that simple, guys. So I have got my Invisalign back in today. I'm trying to be really, really good. I feel like it's slashing my tongue as we speak because it's quite sharp. So if I'm speaking a little bit strange, then that's why, because I am wearing my Invisalign again, and I'm going to keep wearing them. I won't say even if it kills me because that's too dramatic, but I'm going to keep wearing them. I'm committed. I'm committed. I'm going to do it, just like with my weight loss. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you thought it was helpful, share it with your mates. If you've got some Slimming World mates, you know, share it with them. If you enjoyed it, let me know below. If there's anything you've taken away from it that you're going to implement, I'd love to know. But yeah, I'm sat here 16 years later after twins, pretty happy, and that's thanks to Slimming World. So I believe in it. I hope you do too. Bye, guys.